We're battered. We are impacted. We're battered. We're ready to get up. We want to win. Light the fire of power that make us free. We never break down. We want to win. We are impacted. The best team.
Hello and welcome back to TNI-UK Impacted, episode 167, coming to you live via the Total Non-Stop Impact Network on YouTube and Twitch. And if you listen on the go, then we're also available on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your favorite shows. I am, of course, your host, Bison, and today I am joined by the man coming to us from the void of his own mind, the Joker, and of course, the newest team member coming to us from your local nightclub, LimpstarUK. Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, man, all good.
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Do you know what I'm enjoying? I've been getting right into. I'm doing a bit of a detox in a minute, so I'm getting right into my lemon juice and iced water at the moment, giving myself, you know, a bit of a detox all the way through, clear myself through, and it's nice. Hang on, let me have a little sip here. Oh yeah, good stuff. It's good stuff. And of course, you know, it's proper lemon juice as well. So I put a load of lemons and I put a couple of slices in there as well. Have you boys got drinks with you?
No.
I bet Craig has. He likes to drink all the way through. What have we got going on there? Is that a TNI-UK cup?
No, not quite. It's
Not yet.
Macho Man.
No, not yet. It's Macho Man. I am the cream.
Oh, yeah. Man, yeah. Yeah, Jake does a wicked. Jake Chris does an amazing impression of Macho Man Randy Savage. You need to.
Mate, then do you know what? I could just have a private chat with him on sound bites just to Macho Man for an hour.
It'd be amazing.
I promise I won't.
If he ever comes on, then we'll get him to do the Macho Man. You'll love it. You'll love it. But anyway, so it's been a good week actually. Lots been going on. And I've been really enjoying it. I just want to quickly say hello to Eric, because Eric joined us first today. Eric Isaac there, he's in the chat. Nice to see you, buddy. Yes, I should say this is TNI now. Not this is TNA, but this is TNI, baby. And of course, Mir is in the house as well every week without fail. Mir, he's there to wait for me to just slip up and let me know that I've slipped up. Every week without fail. He does that, which is great. But hey, guys, listen, you know, if you're already in the chat, let us know that you're there. Give us a quick hello. And remember, this show is not the same unless you guys get involved. So we want to hear what you guys think about any of the things that we're talking about today. You know, any of the subjects that we hit on. And don't forget, we don't necessarily hit on everything, because so much stuff comes out every single what's this? Bloody hell, Bison, the roof looks like.
I just seen that.
It does look a bit low today, actually. You're right. Yeah, it is low.
But like that scene from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Here, look, that's it. There it is. Look, see? Yeah, it's because I'm right in the corner. I'm in my loft. So instead of being in the cave, instead of being in the Bison cave, I've gone upstairs. It's warmer, because to be honest, at the moment the man cave is bloody freezing. I've got some work going on in there tomorrow, so you never know. I might be back in there next week. But getting that done. But I'm up in my loft room, so of course you got the sloping roofs, and I'm right in the corner where my desk is. I've got my desk right in the corner, so it is a bit low, to be fair. And of course I've got my lamp here, because look, if I take my lamp away, I'm really dark.
Yeah.
So I've got my little lamp in here. Although I haven't said that, I'm super bright with that, I suppose. I don't know. Which is better, this?
No, it's better with some light on, because otherwise it looks like you've gone completely blue. We don't know if you're choking or not.
There you go. There you go. And you get to see the Bison in full colour. Lucky lot. Anyway, Barry's in the house. Good to see Barry. And Terence has joined us. So, we're starting to fill up. Everyone's getting in there. Some dude called LimpstarUK. He's in there. So, which is good. Helping fill the chat up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
But either way, I think it's been it's been a pretty tidy week this week. Unfortunately, though, there was some sad news that country singer Toby Keith passed away. Now, he appeared actually on the very first TNA event. So our condolences to the Keith family at this sad time for them. But what a legend, eh? What a legend.
Yeah. Anyone that's been part of the TNA family one way or another, it's just sad loss for everybody.
It is real
Is
sad
that
loss.
Is that the guy that Jeff Jarrett threw down the stairs?
If I remember right, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it was.
So, yeah.
Yeah. God, bloody hell.
Yeah.
You remember all the way back then. That's amazing.
I am that old.
You are, that's old. Zach Bonifer has joined us. Good to see Zach. Tell you what, Zach, we haven't seen. We need to get some funny photos of our brand spanking new team member. You need to start throwing us some, he likes the Macho Man. Go, oh, yeah. We need to bring some of that going on. Yeah. So maybe the Macho Man with Craig's head on it. He'll love it. But anyway, let's get back to the show. Joe Hendry food fight featuring Jack Price. Now, we did hit upon this last week, but we hadn't actually watched it at that point. Now, I've watched it. I don't know if they released another one yet because it's not popped up on my phone, but this was actually a really cool episode. It was nice to see Jack being featured. And, he even said himself, that they talked about the gut check. They talked about how, he sort of kind of was the runner-up kind of thing and then got offered the contract. But he talked about how he'd spoke to his wife, been in the business already at this point for like 15 years or something crazy. How that basically, if he didn't win, then that was probably, he was probably going to knock it on the head because he felt, well, if he was going to do it, he was going to do it by now. But luckily, they called him back and said, look, dude, we want you as well. And
they say we believe. And you know what happens if you believe.
What happens? What happens, Joe?
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Captain scene.
Yeah, it was coming. Simon's joined us. Hey, Simon, nice to see you, bud. Yes, it was nice to see Jack getting a little bit of highlight because, like I said, since he was signed, we haven't seen a massive amount of him. We've seen him sort of, maybe a handful of times. But I'm hoping that in 2024, even if we just see him appear a few, regularly on say Xplosion, for instance.
Yeah, that would be good.
It'd just be good to see him getting some TV time. Getting the name out there, seeing what he can do. And again, if you stick him on Xplosion, then they're doing good sort of 10-minute matches on there. So he gets a good amount of ring time to prove what he's about. But there you go. He's put, why is Scott D'Amore terminated from TNA Wrestling? Huh?
No idea.
Well,
Absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
I've not seen that.
I've not seen that, no, and I'd be very surprised if that's the case. But anyway, looking good. I like the look of that, the Jack Price. Did you guys manage to check it out?
I didn't get the food fight, but I'm aware of Jack Price because he's. I'll put it really bluntly. I think that if we give Jack Price a chance, then bye-bye Gresham. I don't think that Gresham would stand a chance. There's no place for him to shine if we've got Jack Price in his prime, because Jack Price can go. And yeah, I would like to see them two fight each other, but for a contract. Yeah, for a contract, because I think Gresham's time, I don't know if he's even still contracted with us. It was really weird towards the end of Impact, him doing his little interviews and stuff like that. But
I don't really know where that sort of went. Really, it was kind of a strange one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was doing this sort of kind of interview. You started to act like a heel, and then it all sort of kind of dried up. So, and then we haven't seen him since. He's still on the. I've noticed he's still on the. He's still on the
on the roster.
Yeah, he's still on the roster page.
Yeah.
But like I say, we just haven't seen him. I don't know why that is. Very strange. Definitely very strange.
I've got some news on Scott D'Amore. I've just looked at TNA's Twitter page. Anthem Sports and Entertainment have signed a multi-year deal with something, and Anthony Ciccone, Ciccion, is president of TNA. And I'm going to just open the article on my phone and have a quick skim through. But basically, so either Scott D'Amore's probably still involved in TNA, but probably not in the managerial role. But I'm not sure what's happened to Scott D'Amore. Just got the headline now with the internet connection's a bit slow upstairs.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. My internet is not great as well. So let me see if I can sort of kind of bring it up and see if we can get some sort of
Scott D'Amore's contract has been terminated. He's been a part of TNA since 2003. He so essentially Scott's basically moved on. I think in a way he sort of touched on that when he did that promo with Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander as well. He said that, you know, if this was my last time stepping through the ropes, then I think that was a hint that he was going to be stepping back.
Hopefully it's a step to the side. I don't want him to have gone.
Yeah, but I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think he's been fired or anything like that. He's just his contract's come to an end basically with Anthem and TNA.
No, it says his term has been terminated. Terminated means a contract's been terminated. It doesn't mean it's come to an end.
Well, I hope they haven't fucked Scott over then. There's comments are off already. There's like 11 comments on there, and all the comments are switched off.
They're like, what the hell kind of thing.
Yeah. So what's happened to Scott D'Amore? What the fuck? And then about 11 comments are, and then it's all cut when comments switched off.
The comments have been switched off.
What's going on?
It literally said what?
It's completely spun.
Very vague news. So we'll have to wait until next week or so until we get some more news on what's actually happening. But it's very vague, very vague statement on the from Twitter. What's on everything? What's actually happening? Fucking hell, that sucks.
Anthony,
is it Ciccione?
Yeah, I don't even know who that is.
No, Ciccione. I don't.
Who's Anthony Ciccione? That's not. No, I was going to say that's not Anthony Carella. No, that's Anthony Carella. I was thinking, hang on a minute, they've not just avoided. Who the hell? What the hell?
Shit,
that's unbelievable.
Oh man, I'm trying to look him up. He's got a LinkedIn.
Right. Okay. So I've got it up. I'm on the page now. So it says, what it actually says is this: Anthem Sports Entertainment, a global multi-platform media company, announced today the appointment of Anthony Ciccione as the president of TNA Wrestling. The move aims to further integrate TNA Wrestling into Anthem Sports Entertainment Group, of which Ciccione is the president, leveraging the entire company's resources to add more value in areas including production, distribution, marketing, viewership, customer acquisition, digital revenue, streams, ad sales and sponsorships, digital tech operations, and more. Ciccione replaces Scott D'Amore, whose contract with Anthem has been terminated. D'Amore has been a part of TNA since 2003. He held many key leadership positions and played a vital role in the growth of the company, leading to its strong in industry reputation today, including a successful return to the TNA Wrestling brand in 2024. Anthem thanks him for the commitment he brought to the business, the talent, and the people who work outside the ring. In addition to these duties as president of entertainment, Ciccione will now manage the day-to-day business operations for TNA Wrestling. He brings more than 30 years of executive level management experience to the organization. Ciccione also, has been with Anthem for the last 16 years, managing technical operations and multi-cable and digital channels. Prior to this time with Anthem, Ciccione was a producer of sports content, including catapulting the Score to success by bringing WWE to the channel. Right.
I'm still no clearer. Why has he been terminated? Okay, fair enough. Your contract's run out, but
I don't think it has.
Yeah, but for them to say it's been terminated, like
that's what I'm saying. That's terminated means that they've terminated the contract. It's not
off.
Totally.
Maybe, and I've got nothing to back this up. Maybe something fell a bit south with the whole Jordan Grace and WWE thing, because that was Scott's call, and maybe Anthem and that aren't too happy with the dealings of that. I'm not sure, because this Ciccione bloke, he's kind of like high up at Anthem, isn't he? So, I'm guessing there was
why would you not be happy with that? The amount of publicity that is gained is huge.
We can't spend publicity.
You can.
So
It's free. It's free publicity, though, mate. It's free.
Yeah, but I mean, like maybe he was expecting like a back payment or something like that. I'm not sure, but I'm just speculating here. I've got nothing in concrete to be able to back anything up of what I'm saying. It's just that's really spun my head because, like Barry says, it could be anything, business, personal, anything.
That's crazy, mate.
We don't. I hope Scott's not gone down the route that Vince and Brock have.
I doubt it very much.
I doubt that very much, but I mean that's a bit disappointing. I think they've got some explaining to do. You can't just go in, I mean,
that's disgusting.
I mean, everybody states that Scott is a massive part of people coming into the company from talent relations point of view. Crazy. I don't know. I mean, Simon's problem with Jonathan Gresham is that he and Jordan have a rapidly expanding pet collection, so they've now got 6 dogs. So it's probably hard for both of them to appear on TNA every week. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, terminated means he's sacked basically.
Yeah.
I can't get it. I can't. I'm gobsmacked.
It's very, very rare that I'm speechless, and this is one of those times.
I'm exactly the same. Norris Sparks, damn. Did Tony Khan get jealous of TNA and sign Scott D'Amore?
Scott D'Amore is all elite.
Yeah, that'll be the next sign coming up. Scott D'Amore is now in charge of talent relations and God knows what else, or now in charge of backstage stuff at AEW. This is crazy. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I don't know what to say. I am absolutely gobsmacked. I think that Scott D'Amore has done an amazing job as president of Impact Wrestling, which now led obviously into TNA, to suddenly terminate his contract like literally a month into probably the most successful month they've had since they've owned the brand.
Do we think it's a work? Do we think it's a work?
I don't know, but I mean,
I'd like it to be.
The comments have gone crazy on that post. People are like, "What the?
Good job, Scott. Good job."
Just crazy. Absolutely gobsmacked. Look, everyone in the chat, Zane. I mean, I've never even seen Zane Charles before. He's coming in. He can't believe it. He's disappointed in them not being interested in signing Camille, But
apparently the decision came directly from Anthem owner Len Asper. So that's the guy right at the tippy top. So
where does it say that?
Julian Weeks on Twitter which is he's just a verified guy.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Oh,
I
sorry,
think-
sorry, no, wrong shout out. PW Insider. I like it when they try and take the smoke for it, and then you kind of get like the actual credit at the bottom. So yeah, sorry, that was PW Insider.
Unbelievable. It's just wow, absolutely gobsmacked. I want to know what the hell's going on here, and I'm sure in the coming days more and more of this is gonna come out. That is unbelievable.
And Ross has gone as well, Dr. Ross.
Oh, I'm not so bothered about that, but
No, you can't use Dr. Ross as well. Dr. Ross said that Eddie Edwards is fine after Sammy smashed his eye in, and then he came back completely insane. Dr. Ross said that Crazy Steve was fine, and look what happened to Crazy Steve. You know.
yeah, well, I know what you're saying.
Well, all I can say is there's some free agents out there now who are very high up in very strange places. So when Vince McMahon and Scott D'Amore have that meeting and start their own AEW, WWE, TNA, that's going to be it might be a mouthful, but that'll be groundbreaking for the wrestling world.
I just can't believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Norris is saying always 2 steps forward and 1 step back with this company. Is it though? I mean, we just don't know. So, you know, where are we going with all of this? I guess we're just going to have to keep our eyes open, see what's coming from this. I mean, it may be that Scott wanted to go. It may be that, you know, he's had what?
Yeah.
He's been in charge pretty much for the past 8 or 9 years now.
Yeah.
8 years or so. You know, he's taken us to where we are. You know, I don't know. I mean, Simon's saying this could put talent at risk as well. I mean, we got to talk about Dina in a second, but I don't know. But like Zach's saying, we could possibly have to wait a little bit longer than Trent's marriage to find out what on earth is going down right now. You could be right, Zach, but yeah, what the fuck, eh? Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable. We're talking about Joe Hendry's food fight.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's gone south. We find out Dr. Ross is gone, Scott D'Amore's gone. We'll get to the Diener thing in a minute, you know, but I wonder whether anyone else is gone.
Well, I hope Gail Kingsbury's still there, and Dreamer's still there, and Sabin, you know, all them guys out back. Hope they're still there in those roles, not just like as competitors in the case of Chris Sabin.
Well, they're saying that supposedly it's because they want to consolidate TNA into their entertainment division and be more hands-on in their operation, but getting rid of the guy that helped change the promotion for the better in recent years is wild as fuck. And I totally agree with that. That's literally words from my brain. Is, you know, like, not being funny, I know it's completely different, it's not wrestling related, but if you look at what Liverpool Football Club are going to do with Klopp. So Klopp said that he's leaving at the end of the season. Imagine if next weekend they just go, "Nah, you can go now."
Yeah.
You know, it would turn the world upside down. Like, don't get me wrong, Liverpool looks like it's been turned upside down, but it would turn the, like, you know, the football world upside down, because to take so much from someone and then, like, you know, just completely cut ties with them. I don't think we know the whole story yet, and obviously
in the scrotissimus region.
this is fresh news. So if we give it like a few hours or so, then I'm sure that the real things will start coming out. But maybe, what about bringing back Dixie? What about bringing back Corgan?
Oh, I'd love to see Dixie Carter back.
Right.
To be honest.
Well, they've appointed someone. They've given a reason why they've done what they've done, but it just seems crazy. They must understand how much the fan base absolutely adore Scott D'Amore.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
you know, I mean, he's given heartfelt promos.
Yeah,
maybe they weren't happy with the TNA's fucking back and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Crazy. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm absolutely gobsmacked. I'm just...
Antonia doesn't want Dixie back.
No, none of us want Dixie back, mate. Nobody
I'll
wants
send her a tweet and say that we miss her, and she'll appear out of nowhere.
That's just unbelievable. I just don't know what to say. What the fuck? But anyway, right, okay, listen. we don't 100% know what's going on. So I think let's just crack on with the show.
Yeah.
And let's still kind of take it from there, because to be honest, we could just like literally talk about this for the next God knows how long. And we are not going to get any further into what's going on other than, the speculation station, what Miro was talking about. We don't want to do that. So let's just wait. Kevin now, oh God, here we go. See, it's WWE buying TNA and all this shit. We're gonna have all sorts. We're gonna have all sorts of crap coming out now. But let's just stick with it. Wait and see what's going on. Fingers crossed. It's not as bad as we first thought. But let's see. Now, talking about people not with the company anymore, Taylor Wilde actually confirms via her Wild On podcast that she had to pull back from wrestling for a while, and I think it was more to do with the fact that she was saying that her body just couldn't take the punishment on a regular basis. And she just needed to heal up. She needed to rest. She needed to focus on, her real job, as she calls it, the as a firefighter, her chosen career.
Yeah.
And concentrate on other things as well. I mean, she's still doing her modeling stuff. She's doing her podcast and all that kind of stuff. So she's still doing stuff within the business, just not able to get in the ring at the minute. So
she's taken a massive beating over the years. Kylan King's just gone and just had her operation done 2 days ago. She's also on the road to recovery now. So
that's good to see. That's good to see.
Yeah.
I mean, Kylan King is one of my favorite knockouts of 2023.
Yeah.
And I want to see her absolutely smash it in 2024. But again, I mean,
she'll probably be back by the end of the year or sometime next year. She's had to have several injuries that she's let go by, as well as the torn ACL or on whatever it is she's had. She had two leg injuries, and she's had other injuries that haven't been addressed properly, and all done at once. When she had to go like three months of pre-op physiotherapy.
Yeah.
Had the operation about 2 days ago, according to her Instagram, and
all went well from what I can see.
Yeah, all went well.
So hopefully she'll be back soon, definitely. But that's interesting. We talk about, like Gisele, we talk about Kylan King and all the talents that have been brought in recently, and what they've, contracts they've signed, what they've been promised, all that kind of stuff. You got to remember that Scott and also the whole booking of the show. I mean, Scott is a big part of the booking of Impact, of TNA. So, I mean, have they appointed someone to run the booking side of things, and who's going to be in charge of the storytelling and all that kind of stuff? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for the Bison to step in, and you know what I mean. Start.
The worst they can say is no. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. TNA is obviously got an opening for a chief booker, and I'm going to throw my name in the hat.
You've already got the headset. Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, exactly. And I can do this as well.
Yeah. Just remember, we all like a three-way. Just remember that.
I love three-way, mate. There'd be so many freeways. It'd be ridiculous. Yeah, so anyway, crazy stuff, mate. Crazy stuff. Anyway, the craziness continues to shock with more details coming out with regards to the Vinnie Mac stuff that's been going on. Brock Lesnar seems to be having any association to WWE removed. The online speculation is TKO will get rid of anyone associated to VKM era. That might also include Trips, especially if it turns out that he was aware of what was going on behind closed doors with Vinnie Mac.
Oh God!
It's all kicking off.
That's like the entire Attitude Era is going to be gone then, basically.
Just insane.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Well, there we go. That's where Scott D'Amore's going to end up managing NXT.
Yeah,
maybe that's what's happened. He's now working for WWE. He's taking on Trips.
Abyss is there. JB's there. Eric Young was there for a long while.
Petey Williams is still there, I think.
Petey Williams, yeah.
Who knows? You just never know, do you?
No.
But there you go. So there's all that shit going on as well, and that's been getting worse and worse and worse from what I can see over the last few days. But on a more positive note, New Orleans hype has been moved up a notch with a great video advertisement hyping TNA return to the area. Some interesting matches have been released for No Surrender, and expected more to come this Thursday. I would imagine, during the show, we'll get at least a couple more. So far we've got Chris Sabin obviously versus Mustafa Ali for the X-Division Championship. Now a lot of people are like, oh, that's coming out of nowhere, but is it really, when you've got Chris Sabin saying he'll take on anybody? Then you've got Jordan Grace versus Gisele Shaw for the Knockouts Championship. A lot of people are like, oh, it's got to be Giselle's opportunity now. She's had a couple of opportunities. Is she going to win? I can't see that. Then we've got Moose versus Alex Shelley, the rematch, obviously from Hard to Kill. So we've got 3 pretty badass matches already set for No Surrender.
We'll get the final between the Grizzled Young Vets and ABC then too as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the final one. Yeah, I think next week we'll probably get the second one leading into No Surrender, and of course ABC will get the win there. So it'll all be down to the last one at No Surrender, and then I think obviously we're also going to get. I think we're going to get MK Ultra versus Decay rematch as well.
Crazy Stephen Rhino.
What's this say? So Anthony's saying, just read that the PW Insider reports this might be serious than we think.
Yeah, that's the one I read.
More serious or serious? I don't know what that is.
More serious.
Yeah, but there you go. But so we've got a lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to. Now, there's also lots of rumors circulating on where former NWA Women's Champion Camille will land. Now, this is an official. Now, obviously, she's an official free agent. AEW seems to be the front runners now, as WWE apparently are not showing much interest at the moment. But I have to say, when you look at someone like Camille, she's actually a perfect fit in the TNA Knockouts division. The Brick House is an incredible in-ring talent, and she has something unique, and she's got that kind of toughness that you need to be a knockout. I think she's a perfect fit for the TNA Knockouts. I mean, is there? I don't know. A lot of people. I mean, people aren't even putting her in the running. Or not even putting TNA in the running, but as we know in the past, TNA have, often surprised us by, it not necessarily being common knowledge that they're speaking to people, and then all of a sudden they arrive.
Well, look at Sarah Brookside.
Yeah, that come out of nowhere. I mean, like Dragonstorm say, like Camille versus Jordan. I mean, Jesus Christ, what a match that would be.
Camille and Danny Luna would be fucking brilliant. I'd love to see those two go at it.
And Kylan King. I think they've faced off a few times before, but what a match. Those would be incredible. Absolutely incredible. Can I just say, well, hey, Barry and Dragonstorm, holding up the Twitch viewership today. Well done, boys. Well done. Now, speculation, and this is interesting because obviously I don't know whether any of this is going to apply now, but speculation of potential new talents backstage at the Florida tapings included Sean Spears, who was talking to Scott D'Amore at the gorilla position for at least 20 to 30 minutes at those tapings when he was there. I mean, there was what's his name? The dude, Mr. Sauce. He was on Food Fight last week. Alex Zane. He was backstage, obviously, at those tapings as well. And I think there was a pretty half decent tag team, but I forgot what they were called now. Is it the male models or something? I think they were backstage as well. Mason Mansour, they were there. So there's, I don't know, interesting stuff. I mean, these people are I don't know. Are they just there to visit and see people, or is there more to it? Good opportunity for people.
Sean Spears is looking for a job, surely, because there's only so many times you can count to 10 or call yourself the chairman. I think the only thing that he could ever really offer TNA is just a better looking stuntman for Eddie Edwards. That's all he could do. I don't rate him at all. He was stale in WWE, was stale at best in AEW.
I think the only interesting thing he did in AEW was whack Cody with a chair.
Yeah,
and then get the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah, so I think unless he wants to come in and put Shearer over, then
I knew you were going to say something like that. Shearer.
I've got nothing for Sean Spears, to be fair.
We've got a great frame bite for Shearer.
Oh God.
But yeah, go on. No, I don't know what he's got to say, but Shearer, man. I don't know why you like him so much.
I think, seeing him in that. I was going to say it is Al Storm, isn't it? No,
Al Snow.
Al Storm's a DJ. Sorry, wrong guy. Yeah. Al Snow. So Al Snow is with his company and how the crowd received Shearer and stuff like that. I thought that would have been really good. But then if you look at the 2 episodes of Xplosion, it was basically just a field day for Rhino with those 2 members. I'm just kind of unless on Xplosion they're going to bring back Rohit Raju and have him lead those guys, then those guys are just on the roster for no reason. But I do have a soft spot for Shearer because he's been in and out.
Isn't Odark because he's also owes my money?
That's why, dude. Go on. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if we still had Black Taurus, maybe they could have lent Shearer a mask. So he didn't have to cut a promo.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really think that he should have won that match against Rhino. And then again this week, Rhino getting put over. I'm like, how much more over do you have to be put?
Well, they're doing it for a reason, aren't they? Because obviously they want to set that up as with the Crazy Steve thing. So we'll get to that in a second, actually, because Xplosion is my next topic, to be fair. So Anthony Sione is taking over. Please fire Dreamer. Sincerely, your friend Antonio Baker. Okay, dude. I don't know. I don't want Tommy to be fired. I just don't want to see him on TV. Yeah, there you go. I don't want to see him fired. He's got his value, just not as an on-screen.
See anyone fired? That's just harsh.
No, I don't either. People, and he has his place. He does good stuff. Okay, so getting into Xplosion. This week saw 2 fresh matches. One which includes some story for him when Crazy Steve, the DMC champion, attacks Rhino after his win at Champagne Singh. I spelt that completely wrong when I was typing this out. I put Sing as in S-I-N-G.
Well, you still got
just look at that thinking,
right?
What am I doing? Anyway, Champagne Singh. And we saw AJ Francis joining the commentary team and offering Rich Swann support in his match versus Jason Hotch. But after some inadvertent distraction to Swann, not intentional, Jason Hotch picks up the victory over the former world champion. Now, 2 things from this. A, I'm glad to see Jason Hotch pick up a decent victory. That's a good victory. Yeah. That's a good scalp, right? To stick on his win and loss record. That's a good one. Right? Nobody gives a fuck how it is. When you look at it on the sheet, it says he beat Rich Swann, and that's the end of that's the end of it.
There's only one better thing than beating Rich Swann, and that's
I beat Chris Sabin.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, so it was good to see that. Obviously, the reason they were giving Rhino a couple of wins is because they want to set, Rhino up to have a DMC match, championship match with Crazy Steve. So we've got that going on. So he sort of kind of, he kills off another legend. I think that's what this is. I think the storyline here moving forward is Crazy Steve is going to finish off, ECW hardcore people.
He's going to do what Moose couldn't do.
Yeah, he's going to take out. So he's taking out Tommy Dreamer, obviously. So his
Yeah.
next target is the next ECW guy, which is obviously Rhino. So he's going for Rhino. Again, taking out these what you would class as bigger name talents, effectively, gives Steve a bit more credibility and all that sort of thing. The championship more credibility, I guess. But again, what we're seeing Xplosion now is not just a kind of let's stick a couple of guys on there, let's have a couple of good matches, highlight a few people. Now we're actually seeing Xplosion forwarding storylines.
Yeah.
And we spoke about this before, and I said, like, whether you were, I know, Craig, you said to me you weren't overly enamored with Xplosion this week, but
very true.
If they do this, then what they're doing is they are making Xplosion must see. Because if you don't see what goes on Xplosion, then you're sort of kind of missing part of the story. So I'm assuming that what we're going to start getting moving forward is as this starts to develop, we'll start seeing packages from Xplosion probably appear on Impact to then advertise, you need to be watching Xplosion as well, because this sort of shit's going down on Xplosion, and you're missing out by not watching it, right? So now that makes sense to me, and I've always thought that Xplosion was more than just, put over some younger, fresher faces, give them a bit longer and all that kind of stuff. I'm liking this. I mean, this week we'll talk about it later, but this week, we've got some big matches on there. But I mean, Jake something is on there this week, so he's going up against the Indian Lion. So obviously the Indian Lion's going to get another ass whipping.
Damn it!
But let's hope he doesn't owe. Jake something any money. That's for sure. Yeah, because I think Jake will be literally steering him out the boots. What I want to see is him flying over the top rope again from the
oh man,
just literally like
Superman.
That was insane over the top rope. But yeah, some interesting stuff there. They are obviously using Xplosion a little bit more clever than they used to, in my opinion. But we'll see. I mean, Barry's saying they should have a third match rather than the old match, and that interview segment needs a bit of work, which I agree it does. I think again, maybe that's a good idea. Actually, maybe we should get Alan Angels on there doing sound. But I think it's they're just sort of kind of they've only got X amount of time.
Yeah,
and I think the interview segment is there to fill up some time, and they only got as much time as they're going to be able to give, depending on what matches they're going to put on. So if they've got 2 10-minute matches, and then they're showing, they're showing another match from No Surrender from back in 2018 or something, and that particular match is like 20 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
Then they're only going to have 5 minutes or so to fill for the interview section. But if that match is only, say, 10 minutes long, then they might have a 15-minute segment to fill. So the interview segment all of a sudden has a bit more to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just think that they should get a series of dark matches that maybe just don't have any links to any storylines, and maybe one important one, rather than use all this dated filler. You've just launched TNA Plus. We can subscribe and we can pick and choose to watch those matches as and when we please. You don't need to force it down our throats on a new segment on Xplosion. I just felt like this week because it didn't even have an outro. It just kind of wandered off, and I was like, it was almost like they went, oh, here's all the offcuts from last week, let's just chuck them out there. It just didn't seem to have any consistency.
Okay,
it's just my opinion.
I'm down with that. But maybe you're right. Maybe that middle match could actually be kind of like that, like the Xplosion matches used to be, where they just showcase a couple of local talents. There'd be no reason why, for instance, they couldn't have had a couple of Florida, local lads or local girls going at it. Because that's one thing I've noticed actually on Xplosion. The last 2 weeks it's gone on, there's been no female matches. No
True.
knockouts. It's been
True.
all it's been all male talent.
Well, where's all our knockouts going as well? Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
We've got some young ones in, yeah, great. But like, what we got Jordan Grace. She's had a taste of WWE now, so that's her next step, quite clearly. You've got like Diana Perazzo versus Taya Valkyrie on AEW, which we saw their best years. Like, you know, I'll argue with that. I'll argue about that with anyone.
Well, we already saw that. Like, you know, that's so 19.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's so 20. 19 or whatever, 2020.
Yeah,
we've
I
seen
mean,
all that.
and the thing is we're left with, you know, I don't want it to sound bad, but we're left with like Tasha Steeles, who, don't get me wrong, she had time out and stuff like that, but I feel like her push was there, but it never really flourished. And then you've got like Zaya Brookside, who is getting a push at the minute, but we don't. I say it tongue in cheek. We've got standout stars, but we're TNA. We make stars, but we don't have anyone with that star quality at the moment. Gisele Shaw isn't going to carry the company. Jordan Grace, I'm pretty certain like she's going to be trying to wind their contract down now. We've lost Trinity / Naomi or whatever back to where she came from. So it puzzles me on what they want to actually achieve from the Knockouts division when they're just leaving the door open.
I mean, we've got people like Kylan King to come back, who's pretty awesome, to be fair. One of my favorites.
She best get a kick-ass story. I want to see like a rivalry between her and Havoc or something like that, where it's like, I want like a Barbed Wire Massacre 4 between them two or something. You know what I mean?
Bloody hell. All right, mate. Poor girl. Jesus.
This is TNA. Do you know what I mean?
You got a scar fetish or something? Is that what it is? You got a scar
Maybe a
fetish
little
on your
bit.
birds? Yeah.
Well, maybe, or
I'm
just
gonna have to have a chat with Shell about this, mate. But at the end of the day, I totally get where you're coming from. I think that it would be good to see a lot more stuff going on. It says here that King said she was out for at least 9 months. Wow, I didn't see that. I thought it was only a couple of months. Now she's been done. Now she's actually had the operation. She's now in the recovery, situation. But I guess we'll just, we'll have to see. We've got Danny Luna. I love Danny Luna. She's amazing. I got a lot of time for her. We still got Masha, who's awesome. I'd love to see Masha as world champ. Killer Kelly is awesome. I'd still like to see Killer Kelly with a title run. I don't know. I think there is still lots and lots of scope. But yeah, definitely. Like, give Masha Samovich a manager, she would be fighting for the title. I get that, but I mean, you've got Kelly, haven't you? She can talk, so there's no reason why you couldn't send Masha in for a world title match, and Kelly sort of kind of does the talking. And there's a lot of people don't realise it. Masha actually speaks good English. She's not actually Russian. Her first language is not actually Russian. That's just the character that she's playing. But I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, that's what they've done with her at the moment. So we'll just have to see where that goes. Now, make sure also, guys, that you check out the photo gallery from last week's Impact. There's some fantastic shots that were taken there. Some really good stuff. So make sure you head over to that and go and check that out. It's on it's on TNAWrestling.com. Also, TNAmerch.com. I've been pumping out some really cool t-shirts recently. I mean, we've got some new shirts, including the system. Obviously, we've got 2 or 3 Nic Nemeth ones. We've also had a Mustafa Ali t-shirt released this week, which tells me that there must be more than just a one-off appearance there. So, why would you invest in a t-shirt, a TNA t-shirt for this guy if you're not, if he's not going to be around a bit longer than a cup of tea? Or maybe, it is a 6-month deal, whatever. And of course, selling a t-shirt helps pay for the guy, I guess. Or maybe that's part of the deal that they've got, that he makes money, a percentage of the merchandise sales and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. There's loads of stuff that can happen. I like that. Can we replace the "We Want Cody" as so we can play "We Want the More"? Interesting.
You can't put the apostrophe in it. You'll just end up putting hashtag "We Want D."
Yeah.
No, but we get the message though. My microphone's finally fixed. I don't know what the hell was going on there. The bloody sound disconnected completely.
You look like you were having fun, mate. We left you to it.
Yeah, thanks.
Definitely. Yeah, you're right, Barry. Mustafa Ali seems to be doing a Matt Cardone. He's wrestling all over the place.
Good man.
But if we see him regularly on TNA, I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it. But guys,
sorry, Simon said there. Sorry, Masha is Russian, but her family moved to America when she was young. I didn't realize that there was a Callahan Uncensored for that.
Yeah, she was on there. Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to go back and search that.
But sorry, no, I didn't mean that she wasn't Russian. What I said was that, her first language isn't necessarily Russian, because obviously the majority of her life she's lived in the US. So I would imagine she spent the majority of her life speaking English, but she can speak Russian as well. So, but she's 100% Russian. She's born in Russia, but she moved, with her family to the US quite early on in her life. So, she spent majority of her life in the US. Okay, so this past week on Impact, we saw more great action in the ring, some great backstage story developments. We had Nic Nemeth versus Trey Miguel kick off the show. Once again, Nic and a Rascal in Trey did not disappoint, with Nic picking up the victory after an extremely hard-fought match. And of course, after the match, Steve Maclin once again blindsides Nic on the ramp. The Rascals join him for a 3-on-1 beatdown. What were your thoughts on this opening match and where this is leading with Steve Maclin, guys? Let's go with Craig.
I just, the fact that they kicked it off with Nic Nemeth and Trey Miguel, I was like, it was just, I couldn't believe it. It was just putting that match first. I thought, how are you going to follow on? I thought it was going to be impossible to follow on, personally. But the way that match went and that, I just thought, it's insane. And what I've liked most about Nic Nemeth coming in and saying, like, oh, I'm not going to go and challenge straight for the title. And he's really having to show his worth because, Zach and Trey, they're both great wrestlers, but they haven't really pulled their punches. You can see that, like, they are obviously, they're well trained and stuff like that, but they're doing the moves as they should. I thought it was a great match, but like for me, being a complete Maclin mark, I was overwhelmed by how it ended and that as well. So
yeah, it's crazy. I mean, do you know what? Right, for me, that whole joining up, Steve Maclin joining with the Rascals, or the Rascals, backing up Steve Maclin, that's an interesting dynamic. Very interesting dynamic. I mean, what do you think about the dynamic of the Rascals and Steve Maclin, Joe?
I think it's a really interesting twist for Steve Maclin. We've seen him go all down dirty and serious with Moose and Bully Ray, and now he's got the Rascals into his way of thinking. And then they're like him; they're rebellious. They have a goal, and they will go straight to it, regardless of what gets in their way. And it's also bringing out a slightly lighter side of Steve Maclin now. He's got a group where he can be a bit more himself rather than trying to show he's the one in charge. He's now got someone, and it's just people who knows exactly what it's like to be in his position, to be, get to the top and then pushed aside or feel like you've been pushed aside. Like the Rascals feel the ABC have done with them,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I think it's a bloody brilliant way. It's going to be interesting to see Bailey and Nemeth work together, because I can see that happening. That would be a bloody good tag team for a short while, to see them try and take on Maclin and the Rascals, and then who else is Nic Nemeth going to get on side to help him if he can get anyone else on side. It's going to be it's a great way to develop the story too. It gives Maclin a bit more direction while we wait to see him go for the world title later in the year.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. Then, during a backstage promo by The Design, Con turns to Dina and states the Design is dead. And tonight he was going to show the world who the baddest man in TNA was. At that point, I was like, oof, here we go. I've been waiting for him to turn because I know what a badass he is. So I'm looking for, I was always like, wow, this is going to be good. Then we get Mike Bailey confront Steve Maclin and the Rascalz backstage. A bit of a sort of tussle there between Zach and Mike Bailey as well. I quite like this segment because it showed that the interaction between the Rascalz and Steve Maclin this was a thing. At this point, it wasn't just Steve going out there doing a beatdown to Nick because he's after Nick, and then the Rascalz just helping him. Fancies getting involved in a beatdown. We now find out through this backstage moment that Steve and the Rascalz are a thing. So that was, I thought this was a good moment. We then get a squash match where Decay, obviously Rosemary and Havoc destroy a local team I think is it either Mila or Mila Moore and Savannah Thorne. There's nothing really to say on this other than I love that finisher, that sort of power bomb type. I don't even know what it is, to be honest, but it was good. It looked devastating. There you go. Oh, hi Courtney, welcome to the show. Eric is saying he'd love to see a dog collar title match between Decay and MK Ultra.
You got the same thought as I had. That's exactly what I want to see at the Capcom Rebellion or even No Surrender. Is MK Ultra versus Decay, dog collar match, Monsters Ball tag team. That would be hilarious. I think it would be sick.
That would be
Joe
great.
loves a woman in a dog.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. We then still backstage. You've got Gia Miller. Is with MK Ultra. Killer Kelly states they want a rematch with Decay at No Surrender. When Danny Luna and Jody Threat interrupt them, as Jody Threat obviously faces Masha Slamovich tonight 1-on-1. Okay, so I thought this was good. Killer Kelly doing a great job. Being the spokesperson for MK Ultra. I'm still I'm huge on MK Ultra.
The hottest tag team out there.
As long as I love Decay, I love Rosemary and Havoc. MK Ultra are the ultimate female tag team for me. They are just absolutely insanely good, and I'm down with those two. Those two having that title for a long time. But again, I'm also big fan of Jody, and I do love Danny Luna. So but there's like I say, we were talking about earlier, not as a massive amount of depth in the knockouts division. I don't know. Yes, we could do with a couple more what you would class as sort of kind of names like a Camille, for instance, or it would have been great to have kept Diana, that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, we still got some great talent, and we're going to get some great matches. Yeah, I'm 100% confident in that. Alan Angels welcomes Josh Alexander as the first guest on his new talk show, Soundcheck. Alexander is coming off a huge victory over Will Ospreay just 2 weeks ago, and says that his sights are now set on reclaiming the TNA World Championship. Angels accuses Alexander of stepping on some toes to get to the top and calling him some favors. He basically calling him a little bit ungrateful. Angels, says that he set a bad example for Jet, setting a bad example for his son, causing Alexander to storm off the set. I like this. Did you know what I liked about this was the way Josh was sort of kind of look at it, Alan Angels, if say, what the fuck? And he's going, well, and he's sort of kind of well, you do sort of kind of, backstage politic a bit, I just thought it was I thought this was really well set up. I liked it a lot. I'm not sure we're going to get any more sound checks in the future, but I thought they set this up reasonably well. What did you think, Craig?
Do you know what? I thought it was great to see Alan Angels with his creative control, because I don't think we've seen enough of him. I was already aware of him before he came to Impact, and it's just good to see a guy. Obviously he's not a big dude, but he's a big personality, and He's got everything that you'd want from a wrestler because he can do on-camera work, he can do in-ring work. He's brilliant all around. So seeing him do that with Josh and the way that interview, if you can call it that, the way that it went, I thought it was just absolutely perfect. But with Josh, who knows what's going to happen with Josh now that Scott's gone?
Wow.
I know that we do 6-week segments and stuff like that, but the future, it's all in a bit of peril at the minute. We need answers. We should start demanding answers, to be fair.
I think it's crazy, but there you go. We then head back to the ring. We've got Brian Myers versus Kevin Knight, and this is obviously his second time we've seen Kevin Knight in 2 weeks. Myers defeats Kevin Knight after a really good match, I have to say. But after the match, Eddie and Alicia Edwards joined Myers in the ring to celebrate a victory for the system. But just as they were about to beat down Kevin Knight, Kushida hits the ring to even the odds. I think Kevin Knight sort of kind of came out to the ring quite confident. He obviously knew he had a bit of backup. I'm sure Kushida was just literally waiting it by the monitor.
Tom Hannafin was talking about Kevin Knight's got Kushida. Kushida's got the Motor City Machine Guns. So that's sort of setting the seeds for the system versus the Motor City Machine Guns. Kushida and what do you call him? John Skyler, Kevin Knight. So that's going to be interesting to see where this goes. It'll be really good.
Definitely. Now, guys, somebody's saying that the full report is up with regards to Scott D'Amore on PW Insider right now, and apparently the whole thing's up there for free. So if anyone wants to go and grab that, maybe what we could do, Joe, if you can get it on your thing, and we could do a bit of a share screen of Rooney.
I'll try.
We can maybe have a little look through it, and we'll see where we go. Anyway, backstage, X-Division champion Chris Sabin's interview is interrupted by another commercial for Mustafa Ali. Wheeler will be arriving in TNA Wrestling in the near future. The good hands tell Sabin that Ali is going to be the next X-Division champion. Sabin vows to prove him wrong by making a match between him and John Skyler next week. It is what it is. Like I said, that's 2 weeks of build now with regards to Mustafa Ali. So, that's building up quite nicely. We then head back to the ring to hear from Frankie Kazarian. Frankie explains his actions after turning his back on Eric Young and assaulting him. He says that 2 years ago, he came back and saved this company. He claims to have given more than anyone else, and now it's time to start taking. He intends to become a monster because the hero doesn't succeed in this business. He calls Eric Young the king of TNA Wrestling while he was a soldier in the trenches. Kaz promises to become a king so that people will remember him no matter the cost. As Kaz is making his exit, Eric Young is seen watching on from behind the curtain. I mean, I'm liking this, actually. I think this is subtle. Obviously we're building something big now between Kaz and Eric Young. And I'm still expecting more to come from this, because I have a funny feeling that we're going to get sanity in TNA. Because now the design is gone. Maybe it's time for Eric to bring sanity to TNA. I'd like to see both those guys. Big Damo's a badass. We saw the Axeman, didn't we, Joe? It's a Wrestle Carnival show, so it'd be good to see him involved as well, with Eric leading the troops. But we'll see. Again, this is just a promo section. They're just kind of building the story, putting the building blocks in place. So we'll just have to, sit tight and see where this story goes. Alex Shelley tells Moose that he's getting his rematch at No Surrender. That was all happened backstage. And they get another promo from the undeniable, the irresistible, the unforgettable Ash by Elegance. So again, we're slowly building Ash. and to the point where she's going to get in the ring and prove everybody wrong. Another lovely segment. I know that J-Bone enjoyed that again, so it was good. It was good to see that. Definitely. Have you found it, Joe?
Found something. It's not got any confirmation as to who's taken over.
I found Kaz's tweet. Did you see Kaz's tweet yesterday?
No.
So Frankie Kazarian says the incredibly painstaking, tedious, and difficult work that Scott D'Amore has put in to bring TNA to this very exciting moment in time cannot be understated. We all, as wrestlers and fans alike, owe him a debt of gratitude. That was 19 hours ago, and then we get announced this news today. So are we late with the news, or was this already decided? Did they announce it to the talent before they?
I think they must have announced it to the talent before anybody else.
But,
yeah, maybe they did. Yeah, because I replied to that, and I think I shared that and wrote something online in Scott D'Amore We Trust or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, weird one. Next, so while you're trying to find the full story, Joe, PW Insider, it's on. Diener is in the ring and admits that the group he created, the design, is now dead. Diener admits that it's his fault for trying to resurrect Violent by Design when he's interrupted by PCO. We then get an impromptu match where PCO makes short work of Diener to get the victory. After the match, Cons attacks PCO from behind. Con turns his attention towards Diener and viciously snaps his neck.
Yeah.
Well, they've killed him.
Yeah.
They've killed
if you do that move, don't ever try that move. If you do that and you do that wrong, you will legit kill someone.
Yeah. So they've killed Diener. We know that people can
live on TV. Yeah.
We know that people can come back from the dead in wrestling.
Well, especially in TNA.
Yeah, especially in TNA. So obviously we know he's not dead for real, but they've definitely killed that character completely. So I have a funny feeling we're not going to see Diener for a while. He's gone for a while, I think. So, and that's interesting because Diener is a Scott D'Amore, or I should say, Scott D'Amore, and Diener is a Scott D'Amore, person that they brought in. So he's with him all the way. But there you go. So I don't know. Then Con comes out, puts PCO to sleep with a mandible claw. I don't get me wrong. That's the Con I've always wanted.
It was more like an iron claw to me than a mandible claw. It was fucking brutal.
He was brutal. He came out. He was absolutely brutal.
Yeah. PCO has been to war with Eddie Edwards, Steve Maclin, Sammy Callahan, Moose. He was thrown through the ring by Doc Gallows, and then Con does this to him and absolutely wipes him out almost. It was really, really insane to see, given out what PCO has gone through beforehand, and then Con finally takes him out after it. That just really pushes Con up the danger zone. No pun intended against Nic Nemeth's finishing move or anything along the lines of that. But it just makes him a much more dangerous man than people will give him credit for. If he can take out PCO with just that massive iron claw, that was also a huge tribute to the creator of that move too, which is really nice as well. I hope that becomes a mainstay on his arsenal now, because I was really impressed with him grabbing PCO by the head and lifting up and slamming him down like a choke slam with just by his head. It was
just insane. Yeah, just absolutely insane. But so the designer now no more. Which
the design is dead.
It is dead. The design is gone. The design is dead. Diener is dead, and it looked like PCO had basically met his match in Con. So where this is going to go, I have no idea. But I have to say, talking about PCO, he's getting himself in badass shape for a 55-year-old guy.
He is looking fantastic. I've seen some of the stuff he's putting on Facebook of him in the gym. He's looking incredible.
Great, man.
His arms are the size of my torso.
He is an inspiration to the Bison. But yeah, definitely loads of work going on in there. It's just incredible.
Are we going to get BCO?
A BCO?
Yeah.
You could do. Yeah. You never know. But anyway, getting back to the show, it seems neither Rich Swann or Rhino want some help from AJ Francis, it seems. Joe, come on.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why Rhino's are going extinct. You just can't trust them. Well, you know what Rhino, you know what Rhino says about that.
Off.
I love it.
Unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Love it. Yeah, he wasn't impressed, was he? He wasn't impressed. And why the fuck does Rhino need someone like AJ Francis? Come on. So anyway,
That had me laughing for hours so much when I saw
know.
that on Friday. I couldn't stop laughing for ages.
Oh, mate, insane. I tell you one thing though, I am so fucking down with AJ Francis at the moment right now. I think this is good. I'm intrigued by this shit. I think this is building quite nicely. So as I've always said, when TNA do things right, they really do things right. And I think it's interesting. They're building this guy up. They're building him up. They're not just chucking him in. They're building him up. They're giving him an opportunity to prove there's more to him than what we've seen before. But yeah, no, I like it. I'm like what he's doing. I do. I'm down with it. So we'll see. But we then get a behind the scenes with Jordan Grace and of course the Royal Rumble. This was quite cool. Oh, can I just say, a lot of people saying, or maybe, or it was mentioned earlier, I don't know who said it, but that maybe they weren't happy with the whole WWE thing.
Yeah.
From what I heard, it was actually the setup of that was not through Scott. So it came via somebody. It came from Anthem themselves, and Scott just facilitated it.
Right.
So yeah, there you go. Anyway, we then get back in the ring. Masha versus Jody. And after a really fun match, I have to say, because I think Jody gave a good account of herself. I think she's really grown on me, Jody Threat. I like Jody Threat. I love the character. To us, she's like that. She's sort of kind of like a punk rocker. Isn't she? Yeah. I don't know whether they call it a punk rocker in Canada, that style of character. I don't know, but that's what
she's just the wild child.
Yeah, she's a wild child, but it's like she's like the punk rocker, isn't she? But yeah, so that's interesting. But obviously, Masha gets the win over Jody. Where this goes from here, I don't know. I'm assuming we'll probably get Danny Luna and Kelly, maybe.
Well, the way Danny Luna took Killer Kelly out last week, that got made into a meme across Twitter afterwards. Killer Kelly with the legs in the air.
Yeah, that's true. Actually. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
they've got one with her as a bowling ball going down, knocking it, getting a strike.
Yeah, that's true. That was good. Yeah, that was really good.
Killer Kelly's been sending them around laughing. It's been hilarious.
And it's true. I mean, Barry's saying there, pop Barry's comment up there, Joe. So Jody Threat and Masha Styles work together really well.
Yes,
and I agree.
Yeah,
I think they did. I think they worked together well too. And Eric's saying that he thinks that Jody's a star in the making. I think so too. I think she's great. I really enjoy her character. I think she's a lot of fun.
If you tuned into this week's Xplosion, you can find out what Jody likes to eat.
Yes, you can. That's very true. Yeah. What a lovely woman though. She came across really. lovely.
Yeah. She doesn't have that like kind of textbook punk rocker kind of attitude when she's talking about her food or brunch.
Not normally, no. That's right.
Brunch.
That's right. But we then go backstage again. And there's a bit of a commotion going on as the system attacks Shelley, longtime friend Kushida. They sort of kind of basically take Kushida out, and so Shelley sort of comes in and he's like, "Oh my god, Kushida, my buddy," and all that kind of stuff. So I think they were basically showing that they can get to anybody, anytime. I think that's what they were trying to do there. Terrence saying he's loving the Xplosion shows, which is good. Glad to hear it, Terence. Craig thinks they're rubbish.
Do you know what? The first one, I was like, yes, it's back. This last week, I was just like, wow, you dropped the ball. So as long as the next one's good, I'll keep watching them.
I'm going to keep watching regardless. I'm sure that because now I've noticed that they're starting to use, stories, and they're starting to sort of kind of build stuff in. I think I'm going to watch it.
I agree with your idea though. I think don't keep doing the throwbacks and giving us like a 12-minute full match from like 2008. I reckon you're right. You should bring in like maybe the lower tier talents, or some dark matches and stuff like that. We could really do something good with it. Yeah,
Let's get to see a bit of Jack Price. Let's get to see some of the other, like see Shearer get beaten again.
Yeah, when they go back up to Canada, let's get Aiden Prince back on.
Yeah, I mean, loads of talents like that could be on that show. I mean, if you look at the roster page, there's loads of guys that aren't used on a regular basis. Yeah, we do see them from time to time, but we don't see them all the time. So it would be good. Yeah, exactly. There you go, Gary. So that's what I've been saying. Xplosion is now story driven, which is good, because what I'm saying is now you're at a point where you're saying, right, well, I've got to watch Xplosion just in case I miss anything related to what's going on. You know what I mean? So there you go. Another one, Sheldon Jean. We could be seeing people like Sheldon Jean on there. We haven't seen him for a while. But anyway, guys, listen, we're back to the show. Main event time, with the first of 3 matches between ABC versus GYV. This match had everything from incredible fast-paced action to hard-hitting power moves to some great storytelling, both teams. And after a very hard-fought match, GYV get the first win of 3. While GYV celebrate, Impact goes off air. Now, listen, Craig, we know that you're not down with the GYV.
Right? Brilliant wrestlers, but can't understand a word.
Yeah, we know that you're not down with the Liverpoolians. But these guys, they got chemistry. They can really wrestle, can't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Incredible in the ring. So good.
Yeah, it's like you said, like we saw like a series of power moves. We saw some technical moves and that, but I just thought it was one of those matches that you could throw up there with, dare I say it, with the second coming of LAX versus Lucha Brothers. It was one of those where if you blink, you are going to miss something. Yeah. And I won't lie, I did pause it. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to start the match again before I got to the winner, because I was just like, this is too good to just watch one time.
Yeah, I need to watch it again. There was bits I missed. It was really so fast paced.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fantastic. It was like watching the Motor City Machine Guns and the Wolves at it again.
Yeah,
and like you said, LAX versus the Lucha Brothers, or LAX versus AVE. When they're just tearing the place down.
Yeah. I mean, we had some amazing matches over the years. I mean, the North, we had some great matches from the North. For me, TNA, when they're on point with the tag teams, they are on point. We get some fantastic matches. But when you've got teams like, Motor City Machine Guns to fall back on, you're never going to be short of a good tag team rivalry, are you? Because you can always fall back on the Guns. If you've not got nobody around at the time, and then get somebody in. I mean, you think about the teams that we've had in recently. Subculture, great team, great team. I mean, a year or so ago, we had the Briscoe brothers. Wow. We've had teams coming in. Obviously, the Good Brothers came in. We had
the Kingdom.
Yeah, the Kingdom. We had the reunited America's Most Wanted. We have had, some great stuff over the past, couple of years. And if you go right back to Lucha Brothers, LAX, OVE, it's just been constant great stuff all the way through. And I don't know. I just think that, you want to see good tag team wrestling. Well, you're going to get it, mate. You're going to get it at TNA. That's for sure. You're going to get it at TNA. What did you? I mean, what were your biggest takeouts from this particular match, Joe?
I was quite impressed with how GYV managed to almost go move for move against Ace and Bay. Ace and Bay started off really hard, fast and hot, and that, and they managed to keep the pace up with them and grind them down when they needed to. But when they wanted to
it's grit.
No. When they, I mean, like
grinding your teeth.
I mean, grinding the pace down.
I know.
Slowing it down.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
And but when they wanted to let it go, they managed to match the move for move. It was so good. Like it was like watching the Wolves versus the Motor City Machine Guns, or LAX versus the Lucha Brothers. It was literally two teams that just gelled well as soon as you shot the firing pistol to get going, and they were fantastic.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see more of this. I can't wait for the next match.
I'll tell you what, it was a lot better than the Bromance versus Reno Scum.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
I just thought I'd mention both teams in 2024 because no one else seems to give them any mention whatsoever. So that's it. I won't mention them again this year, I promise.
I'm actually a fan of Reno Scum. I didn't think they were given enough credit.
Yeah, I think thought Don Callis did dirty.
Yeah, I don't remember the names of the two guys. One was called The Legend or something, wasn't he?
Last of the Legend.
The Legend, yeah.
I think I know the other one, but I can't remember it off the top of my head.
And it's the other one, which I'm sorry I can't remember his name, but
he was great.
He should have had a solo run.
Yeah.
I reckon we could have had a potential X-Division champion out of him if he had a solo run, but Luster held him back. That's just my personal opinion. But, Adam Thornstone. Barry, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's funny enough, actually, I had a great conversation with Adam Thornstone.
Swinger and Dice versus
I can't believe I didn't know. I couldn't remember his bloody name. But anyway, so I had a great conversation with Adam. He's I think he's a paramedic, or he's or something along those lines as well. But anyway, he he was very disappointed.
Adam Thornstone.
Yeah, Adam Thornton. Yeah, or Stowe. Yeah. He was very disappointed that they didn't get to sort of really showcase what they can do as a team. At the time. But then again, when you come in and you've got some other really good teams like the North and stuff, it's going to be really difficult to sort of kind of get that opportunity to shine. But Adam was great. He's so agile. I remember he was so agile. But I was trying to get him to come on the show, but he was so at the time he was so pissed off that they've been let go that he was like, I'm just focusing on my job right now. But it's a real shame.
You mentioned sorry mate, you just mentioned the North there. Do you reckon George Iceman's going to be much to do with this Ash by Elegance?
He's kind of our manager, isn't he?
Because do you know what? That is a guy where I reckon that he needs to be the third person on commentary. Because I know that he does his inside scoops and stuff like that, but it was just back when the North came out and he came out and introduced them. It gripped me because straight away I was like, "Who the hell is this asshole?" And then all of a sudden I couldn't get enough of him. And then he's done bits with the company and that. Obviously he's to do with Ash by Elegance, but I feel like he could. I've nothing against Gianna. Is it Gianna or Gisele? The backstage girl.
Miller.
Gia Miller. I've nothing against her, but I just reckon that he could do a better job.
You think? What, on Xplosion, say?
Yeah. Just give him a bit of a spot as a commentator and that, because he's got that great delivery, that great voice, a great tone to it, and it's one of those voices and one of those images where as soon as he's on the screen, I can't really look away because I feel like I'm going to miss something. He's kind of like a new age JB to me.
Okay.
But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
That was Jay's response to you saying about it. Yeah. But
I got a name wrong.
I love Gia. She's awesome. So I got a lot of time for Gia. I'm glad that she's getting a little bit of a opportunity to get on the old commentary team and Xplosion.
Great in Wrestling Revolver.
Yeah, she is
fantastic in Wrestling Revolver.
Yeah, she's Ace Austin's valet.
Yeah,
really cool.
Lovely wardrobe. Lovely wardrobe.
fantastic, mate. Not a lot of it, but it's fantastic. Okay, now guys, listen, before we go on, we need all of you guys in the chat, all of you listeners, all of you viewers right now, fans of the show, whatever it is that you are right now, even if it's just part of the TNA revolution we've got going on right now, we need you guys to hit that thumbs up button, because those thumbs up make a massive, massive difference to the amount of exposure we get, the amount of people that get to see the show. Also, don't forget, if you enjoy the show, share it. Let people know that we are live. Let people know that, you know, that our rerun is available. And of course, you know, again, these things help us move up the rankings, help us move up on people's news feeds. It's really important. And of course, guys, if you're feeling flush, you know where that super sticker button is. You know, and all those are always extremely welcome. So you know, if you're feeling flush, then you know what to do. Okay, TNA Impact this Thursday. Now we've got advertised Mike Bailey versus Zachary Wentz. Well, we knew that one was coming because of obviously the interactions we've had. We've got Tasha Steeles versus Nia Brookside 2. So we've got that one again. I have a funny feeling that Tasha's going to win. We've got Chris Sabin versus John Schuyler, which is obviously, you know, it looks like they're aligning Schuyler and Jason Hotch with Mustafa Ali. That's interesting. We've got Josh Alexander versus Alan Angels. Obviously, Josh wants to teach Alan a lesson. We've got Alex Shelley versus Eddie Edwards. That's an instant classic straight off the bat. Yeah. Two absolute legends of TNA there, smashing it out. And then, of course, we've got the final match of Trinity, which is going to be, you know, a tag team match. Trinity, Jordan Grace versus Gisele Shaw and Savannah Evans. I have a funny feeling Gisele Shaw is going to pin Trinity in this.
Yeah.
Which, of course, will then lead to her, you know, coming in as a you know, strong.
Or at the end of the match, Gisele Shaw's going to give her another daemon as well to send a message to Jordan Grace.
Yeah, there's going to be stuff's going to go on here.
I really wanted Rosemary or Havoc or something to send Trinity to the Undead Realm in the hopes that, like, you know, do like a bit of a story and just send her there and she can go be like, you know, a vessel.
Well, she's going to the prison. She's going to the prison. She's going to the prison, like Tyre did.
Like Vince McMahon will.
I quite like the you know, that idea actually. She's gonna become the vessel Naomi.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And then like all of a sudden she drops back in TNA, comes back to us and just kind of like brushes it off. Like, I don't know what the hell happened there. And then just carries on as Trinity.
Rosemary brings it back from the Undead Realm as Trinity. Yeah, that would be crazy. But there you go. A nice swan song for Trinity. And she joins the Death Dolls in the Undead Realm. Yeah, you never know. But I think, is there anything in there? I mean, we're 6 matches. That's a pretty stacked match-heavy show, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's an hour and a half now, I've noticed.
Yeah,
so I know it's only a few more minutes, but it makes a difference.
Yeah. They show the entire thing uncut now on YouTube and on TNA Plus.
Yeah. So out of those matches, though, who do you reckon is going to be match of the week?
Ooh, it's going to be a toss up between Alexander and Angels and the Knockouts tag team match.
Yeah.
You reckon?
Yeah,
I'm going to go. It's going to be a toss up between Shelley and Edwards and Alexander and Angels.
See, I'm going to just go with Bailey and Wentz.
Really?
Yep, that's. I'm just going to pick one. I'm not going to go for an either or. I'm just going to go. That's going to be the match of the week.
It could, yeah. It could be. Both
I love this match.
Do you know what? The best bit about that is a I love it. Love that bit. But there you go. It says Mir saying that the Knockouts tag team main event is the main event of the show. It probably will be.
Good show.
But yeah, what a great lineup. 6 matches, man. That's a hell I reckon you might find that this show goes longer than an hour and a half. But yeah, it's got to be an hour and 35, hour and 40 minutes. Yeah, great. I'm looking forward to all of it. That's for sure. We got a big night tomorrow. Do you stay up, Craig?
No, not really. I'll usually get up early and watch it before I go to work if I can, or I try and avoid social media side of things so I don't get any spoilers and that. And then tomorrow evening I'll just go and get a pizza or something and watch it then.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
I got the PWI thing up. There's nothing that we don't already know really on it. They've tried to get in contact with anyone from TNA. Nobody's been able to get back to them. They tried to get in touch with Scott about it. No, he's not got back to them. Apparently, this is all made last week, and the locker room has only been told yesterday or so. But I'll drop the link to it all in the comment section when we finish, guys, so you can read it there too.
On a side note, Mears just basically sent me down a rabbit hole because he said Sammy wants Scott D'Amore, which I think would be huge. But
yeah.
I just had a look at Sammy's Twitter, and they've got Speedball Mike Bailey versus Elijah. Now, that's the dude with the guitar, right?
Yeah.
Right. What's he doing? Because he needs to get into TNA.
Yeah, I like him. I like him. I think he's got a great character. I think he would be amazing in TNA. I think, but hey,
just get like a I reckon PCO out to the ring or something like that where they drop the lights, get him in the ring, drop the lights again, and it's just Elijah sat in the ring with a guitar.
Yeah, it would be cool. I think
that'd be pretty cool.
There you go. But guys, that's all we got time for this week. Also, if you want to show your support for TNI UK, please feel free to super sticker us or head over to the prowrestlingtees.com/total nonstop impact for some great shirts, or head over, especially the Bison one. You've seen the Bison one's pretty cool. Head over to, like I say, or head over to our exclusive Spreadshirt merch store. Links, of course, are below. And if you go to the shop on our YouTube channel, that takes you straight through to our Spreadshirt shops. Go check that out. All TNI shows are available to all of you listening on the go fans as audio only via SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you list your favorite shows. Where can we find you on the socials, Joe?
You can find me on Twitter at JOK Empty Space. You can jump onto Facebook or Twitter, look for #EmptySpace, #Into the Void, or if you fancy to tickle your taste buds and your sense of humor, #Daily Giggle. But approach with an open mind, and you just might keep your sanity.
And what about yourself, Limpster? I believe that you've
literally
sort of
just. I always get the wrong hand. We'll go that one. It's just that one there. Just LimpstarUK, just all as one word. Go to Instagram, go to TikTok. Just basically put it in anywhere, and if it comes up, that's me.
There you go. You'll find the man. And I do suggest you go and follow Joe. You go and follow Craig. At the end of the day, these guys are always talking about the wrestling. They do other things as well. Joe is a bit of a joker, hence why he's called the Joker.
I love your sense of humor, Joe. It makes me laugh. It's really good.
His daily giggles put smiles on faces, and that's important. And of course, Craig being a bit of a DJ. He's always putting up little clips of him doing his whatever it is he's doing. Go and check it out. I know there's a lot of this. Big box, small box, all that sort of stuff.
Couple of fish, yeah.
That's it. Go and check it out. But it's definitely worth going and checking them both out. Of course, don't forget to follow at We Talk Impact on all of the socials, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, obviously X. Go and check that out. Follow us on everything. And of course, if you want to find out more about the Bison, I am on X at Lord Bison 45. If you want to follow my journey on TikTok, at Bison by Design is where you'll find me on there. My follows have been really starting to hike up over the last couple of weeks. So get on there, go and check it out. I will also, not only will I be doing my fitness journey on there, but I will of course be pushing Impacted and TNI on there as well. So go and get involved. Go and get involved in the journey. The motivated mindset is important stuff. Please take the time to help us out moving up the rankings on YouTube by giving us a thumbs up. And if you're new to us and you like what you see, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. And of course, don't forget to give the bell a tickle. Come on, guys.
Tickle.
Squeeze. Woo, woo. Or a smash to never miss any of TNI, UK, or the US teams. Great Impact related content every week. I should say TNA related content coming out every week. With all that said, I've been your host, Bison, and they have been the one and only Joker, and of course, the new boy, the Limpster. And this has been episode 167 of Impacted. Take care, everyone.
It's easy. Oh, keep going for a bit, guys. Got the dog sort over the keyboard.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Come on. Right. Okay, guys. Well, we'll see you next week. We're ready now. So take care.
You sure?
Smash it.
We're Bison! We are Impacted!